Hi everyone, I'm Brianna and welcome to Roll Initiative. Today we're going to be looking at 5 things that every first-time D&D player needs to know. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to say is just a short disclaimer that a lot of people play Dungeons and Dragons and everybody plays differently. So while this video is all of my best advice, if you're not sure if your table does things differently to this, then the best way is to ask them. Now let's have a look at some of the actual tips. D&D is a very complicated game, and while other players are doing something or having their turns, it can be very easy to just zone out and start doing something on your phone. But one, you're gonna miss a lot of good information, and when it gets to your turn, then everyone else is gonna have to wait for you because you don't know what you're doing. What you can do instead is to busy yourself with the game. Pay close attention to what others are doing. Take notes. Plan for what you're going to do on your turn, so when it gets to your turn, then no one will have to wait long for you. Not only does this help keep the game moving, but you're very unlikely to enjoy the game if you're zoned out whenever you're not doing something. Because when you're paying attention, even if you're not doing anything, you can pick up a lot about the story, the other characters, and it's just not going to be particularly fun if every time you're not actively engaged, you're zoned out. Not to mention, if you're paying attention a lot of the time and zoned in, then your DM is gonna love you for that because it is rather rude when the DM is making this game for everyone and when they're not doing anything, such as when the DM is describing things, everyone just zones out. But if you actively engage with the game, then it'll be a whole lot more fun than if you just zone out every time you're not doing something. Taking risks is a big part of D&D, but so many people try and avoid it, like constantly checking for traps. And while it can be satisfying to spot a trap beforehand, you don't have to go overboard because if you never trigger a trap, then it's not going to be particularly fun and it's going to be very time consuming. Not to mention, this isn't real life. You don't have to be that careful. You'd probably also be surprised at how much it takes to kill a player character in this edition. So, I'm not saying to be completely oblivious to traps and any danger, but you don't have to be constantly wary like your life depends on it. It's okay to just have a bit of fun, and some of the best times in D&D is when things go terribly wrong. So, pretty much to sum all of this up, don't be afraid to take risks and don't be afraid to fail. It can be really fun and a really important part of the game. Communication is incredibly important in D&D, in-game and out of game. If you don't talk to the other people in your party, then you're not really going to have as much fun playing the game because they're going to be your companions through probably the whole adventure. And some D&D games can last a very long time. So you really want to communicate at the table and talk to the other players and their characters and get to know everyone. And communication with the DM is particularly important. You need to communicate what you want to do to your DM so that they can help you do it. It's also really important to realize that everyone at the table is their own person and you are not the main character. You're all in a shared story and you have to act like it. Because no one likes that person who thinks they're the main character and can't let a scene go by without doing something and making it about them. It's fine to come into a lot of scenarios and to join in on a lot of roleplay, but you should be supporting the other players in their roleplay with yours, not barging in and changing it to be about yourself. Such as if one character is talking about their backstory, then instead of barging in to mention something about your backstory, get involved and ask them questions. Support their roleplay instead of replacing it with your own. You have probably seen a lot of DMs and players with a lot of stuff, a lot of very expensive stuff, massive core rulebooks, stacks of pre written campaigns, a horde of dice, and a lot of minis and terrain. But you don't need any of this to start playing. All you really need to play D&D is a piece of paper and some dice. And you could even use a digital dice roller on your phone, or maybe there's someone at the table who has a few sets and wouldn't mind lending one to you for the game. So, if you've been avoiding D&D because you think it's a big expensive hobby that you need to be committed to, it's not really. You can play D&D with almost nothing. There are millions and millions of people who play D&D, and each and every single table plays it differently. Some of them, it's even hard to imagine that we're playing the same game. So even if your first session isn't what you'd hoped it would be, then sometimes it just takes a little bit of time to get used to the game, to get used to the table, or maybe it's not the right table for you. But there are plenty of people out there and plenty of different tables to try. So if you think it might not be the right table for you, try not to give up on the game. Just try and find a different group to play with. Because I can almost guarantee that there will be a group out there that's looking for the same kind of game as you are. It might just take a bit to find them. But there you go. Those are the 5 things that I think all first-time D&D players need to know. I really hope that it was helpful and that it will help you start playing D&D. And if you did find it helpful, then I'd really appreciate it if you'd give the video a like or maybe even subscribe to my channel. As always, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you next time.